Happy Monday. Today is Monday, May the 24th, 2021, and today's daily Bible readings come to us from, let's see, where was I? Psalm 104, 24 through 34, and then 35. Joel 2, 18 through 29, and then 1 Corinthians 12, 4 through 11. I'm going to take a look at the passage from Joel today and talk about how Pentecost, yesterday was Pentecost, I've even got my red t-shirt on, Pentecost was a gift for all creation because it involves the restoration of God's people by the restoration of God's presence, right? But it's not just that, it's a restoration of creation as well, because the whole of creation, if you read especially if you read the Old Testament and the prophets, it seems like the whole of creation, by the way, go back and read the Genesis story, the whole of creation seems to suffer from humanity's disobedience and idolatrous nature, or idolatry, if you want to put it that way. It's an interesting thing that you pick up on when you read through the Bible, and you read through it frequently. You begin to notice that when things go wrong, they go terribly wrong, and it's not just the people, but it seems like all of creation suffers as well, and then it compounds human suffering on top of that. And so it's interesting because in this text here from Joel, God is talking about how he has decided that the things have gone on long enough, the punishment has gone on long enough, and it says that he is jealous for his land and has pity on his people. And so now he is turning his face back towards his people, and the land itself will benefit. He says things like, do not fear, O soil, right? He says, do not fear, O soil. Do not fear animals, right? He says to them in verse 19, says, see, I am sending you grain, wine, and oil, and you will be satisfied. There's going to be this restoration of the environment in which they live because God's presence is returning, and they're repentant, right? Which is hopefully the big part of that. So he says, do not fear soil, do not fear animals. I mean, he's addressing the soil as if it's a person, as if it's a creature, the animals as if they are creatures that can understand his presence. Because he says the fields are green, the fruit returns to its trees and to the vines, and then the rains return to the earth. And then this passage that we've got today for the DBR ends up with God pouring out his spirit upon humanity, right? Upon men and women, old and young. And so the restoration of God's people, the restoration of God's presence to his people is also this relief to the earth itself, this relief to nature and the environment in which we live, because he has dealt with our sinful nature and with us, and all of creation can celebrate because of that. It's an interesting thing to think that our disobedience just doesn't just hurt us. It hurts other people, and it even hurts all of creation itself. Kind of an interesting thing, sorry, I got tongue-tied, to think about in this time of Pentecost. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Go out, enjoy this great creation God has given you, and we'll see you later. Boop.